Uh, Good day, everyone. We're Group 3, and we're here to present about paints, wood stains, varnishes, and its colors. So first, we discuss about wood stains. So what are wood stains? A stain is applied to wood during the finishing process of construction with using of wood, and it is pigmented to change the color of the wood, and there are several colors of stains available. So we know that there is a wide variety of wood species and stain colors. So we have to keep in mind that no two pieces of wood or finish application can be identical because each piece of wood is unique and stains often amplify the grain and characteristics particular to each species. So there are three kinds of wood stains according to color. The first one is transparent. And obviousness the name, it's transparent, meaning there's no color. So these stains uh, coats the wood, but it doesn't completely cover its grain, so it's natural looking. So it only gives it a glossy finish. So next is the semi-solid stains, which does not completely hide the grain and natural color of the wood. These stains provide more UV protection than the transparent stains and are a better representation of the stain's actual color. The third one is solid or opaque. These types of wood stains hide the grain completely and provide the most UV protection. Solid color stains will film on top of the wood, masking the grain while looking like paint. So this is the thickest among the three, and uh, it gives UV protection, meaning na it's good for outdoors. So next is the types of wood stains. So first we have oil stains. It is the most common commercially available wood stain, especially here in the Philippines, and it is like Davis Boysen sells them, and then it provides a even finish because it is it has linseed oil, which makes cleaning of it and of it spreads out the inconsistencies, resulting in a more even stain. This makes it perfect for a large project because you don't have to micromanage every brushstroke to avoid splotching. And then oil stains can be thinned or cleaned up with uh, alipathic hydrocarbon or paint thinner. And oil stains are also known to be one of the wood stains that dries really slow, which takes the 2 to 3 hours to dry, and it should always be dried under room temperature. Next is water-based stain. It is the most natural, easiest to clean up, and the least likely to cause irritation. It can also be cleaned up by water, but it should not be applied to with over oil based stains or varnish because it will just delay the drying process. So not unless na you have a lot of time. Yes, you can add oil and varnish, but it will make the process longer. And then it can be difficult to apply. It dries quickly, meaning if you misplace like a varnish, if you wipe it right away, it will cause splotching. And then you can use propylene glycol or lacquer retarder can be used to slow the drying process para dili kayo siya fast and para it won't cause that much splotching. Next is varnish. It is similar to oil-based stains. It contains a binder of varnish, often polyurethane varnish in place of oil. It dries hard and it eliminates the need for a finishing coat because varnish itself is a finishing coat naman. So it is perfect for small projects, surfaces that are already stained or surfaces that are worn or scuffed. Next is gel stain. It is usually oil based and it is thick in consistency like mayonnaise. And it also dries hard. And application can be messy, but gel stain is second to none in creating a splotch free coat. So if ever nagka-splotchy coat mo, it can be fixed by sanding and not by adding another coat. So isand lang niyo until most soft, most smooth ng surface. Next is lacquer finish. It does not actually contain lacquer, but fast varnish containing ketone and xylene. These stains dries fast, which is 15 minutes lang yung kuan duration of curing, and then the solvents of lacquer finish this vaporizes easily and it has a huge pungent smell. So kung mag-use mo og lacquer finish, you have to wear mask kay strong kay yung smell. And then next is water soluble dye stain. It is sold as a powder and typical powder to water ratio is 1 ounce per quart. And if ever dili gyapon nimo work, you can just always do trial and error until you get the right consistency. And it excels in preserving the wood grain, but the only downside to using water soluble dye stain is that it fades through time when exposed to UV light. So dili kaya ni siya fit for outdoor build, so it has to be for interior lang. Next is metallized stain. It was created in 1950s to resist fading. It consists of metals like chromium, cobalt, copper, and nickel, which can make the wood sturdy. It contains no water, it dries quickly, and it can be mixed with lacquer as a toner or with water for a slow drying stain. So the benefits of wood stains is number one, it prevents rotting. So we all know now wood is prone to rotting if it is used outdoors without being sealed. Not only will rot make wood projects less visually pleasing, but it can also create a hazard collapse. Rot can develop in many ways, but mold, mildew, and termites are a few most common culprits. So that's why people use wood stains to prevent this. And then next is protection from sun and moisture. So we know that when water goes in wood, it destroys its grain and mo burot siya. So we have to again apply this para this can be prevented. And then preservation of aesthetics and this means that it gives the natural wood color like if you dili siya mo fully covered and it will be aesthetically pleasing. And then simplicity of use. So there's no doubt that stain is easier to apply and to maintain because stains can often be used without a primer, potentially halving the time of required application. While the need for maintenance does vary with the climate and product, even heavily trodden wood steps are likely to need restaining only once every 3 years. Moving on to paint.
Mag-start na ako.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now next slide, please. So, what is paint? Paints are commonly known or described by people as the color of the walls of their houses or the color of their vehicles. Paint is more than just the color, though. It is a material that is applied as a liquid and dries by a variety of chemical processes to a solid. Next slide. Uses of paint. Paint has been around for many years. The quality and texture of paint are continuously evolving as years pass by. Buildings, facilities, and even at home are where paint is usually applied. Next slide. Components of paint. Paint typically consists of pigment, binder, solvent, and additives. Pigment provides color and hide. If you don't know what hide is like the term for covering the part of the wall where you are painting. Pigments or finely ground particles that are dispensed into paint and provide color and the hiding properties. There are two primary types of pigment: prime pigments and extender pigments. Prime pigments are those that contribute to both wet and dry hide in paint. Extender pigments are lower cost pigments that give extra weight or bulk to the paint. Binders work to the pigment together, bind the pigment together and create the paint film. Binders are ingredients that provide a binding effect that holds the pigments together to create a dry film on the surface. A paint binder is a key ingredient that directly relates to the performance of paint, including adhesion, washability, scrub resistance, fade resistance, and gloss retention. Solvent are the liquids that suspend the ingredients and allow you to place the paint on the surfaces. Combining the pigments and binders, considered solids, with the liquids creates the paint coating you see in the paint can. Additives. Additives are ingredients that provide specific paint properties that most commonly used are thickening agents, surfactants or soaps, biocides, defoamers, and co-solvents. All these four ingredients combine to provide paint that meets your specific design needs. Next slide, please. Types of paints. Paints come in mainly five forms: polyurethane, epoxy, alkyd, high zinc, and acrylic. Polyurethane paints, sometimes called simply urethane paints, cure by chemical reaction or by exposure to air, heat, or UV light, and are available as one and two-part coatings. These are particularly useful as color coats where a tough, highly aesthetic finish is desired, as for automobiles. Epoxy coatings are usually two or three-part formulations and impart good abrasion and weathering characteristics and high resistance. Alkyd. Alkyd enamel coatings provide environmental protection in interior, exterior, underwater, and underground applications, and are also used for road markings but tend to be slower drying than other paints. High zinc coatings are particularly useful on steel and as they provide both galvanic and barrier protection. Lastly, acrylic paints. Acrylic paints are useful as primers to promote adhesion. Acrylic paints tend to use fewer additives than other paints. And that's all for paints.
Next, we have varnishes. Spark.
Okay. What is varnish? Varnish is a solution of resin or resinous substances such as common resin, amber, copal, shellac, etc. in alcohol, turpentine, or oil. It also enhances and gives warmth to the grain of wood and is resistant to impact, heat, abrasion, water, and alcohol. It can be used as top coat over worn finishes. Side. Why varnishing is done? To intensify or brighten the appearance of natural grains in wood, to render brilliancy to the painted surface, to protect painted surface from atmospheric action, to protect unpainted wooden surfaces of doors, windows, roof trusses, floors, etc. from atmospheric action. Classification of varnishes. Oil varnishes. Use linseed oil as solvent in which hard resins such as amber and copal are dissolved by heating. Spirit varnishes. Methylated spirit of wine as solvent in which soft resins such as shellac are dissolved. Next. And turpentine varnishes. Use turpentine as solvent in which soft resins such as gum, damar, mastic, and rosin are dissolved. And water varnishes are formed by dissolving shellac in a hot water using enough quantity of either ammonia, borax, potash, or soda. Next slide. Um, there are only two types of varnishes: polyurethane acrylic varnishes. Polyurethane varnishes are typically hard, abrasion-resistant, and durable coatings. Acrylic varnishes are typically waterborne varnishes with the lowest refractive index of all finishes. And that's all from varnishes.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you.
Stop recording na siguro.
Okay.